the names that Wiretapper has been producing lately. By the way, if you have not gone to Wiretapper within the past hour, I suggest you do, and you log in, because it's been modified a little bit so that it's the layout is a bit better, and we also got this new section here at the bottom with the rising options volume. Now I'm going to make this look a lot better. This is what I was showing you guys last week. We're able to pretty much identify, out of all of these unusual options that the top 10 lists are catching, which ones should we be paying attention to? Which ones are moving, or are bound to move based on the patterns that the neural network has picked up on. I can show you what the results have been for the prior days, for the past few weeks. These are the results based on yesterday's data. So the results from yesterday of these rising options volumes they may be different, they may be almost the same. You may see some names that are there again, some that are not. What I did yesterday was a sort of like a back test, if you will. What I did is I started going back in time, starting from today. So if I run this rising options volume scan based on today's data, what is my output? The output is this, what you're seeing on your screen. The most recent data that we have, which is as of June 9th, right? The latest data points that we have are from June 9th. But then I thought to myself, wouldn't it be nice if I could see how these rising options volume stocks sort of kind of pop in and out over time. Oh, thanks for the comment about it looking great. I really struggle with this. I have no problem with like back-end systems code, but when it comes to like making it look pretty, that's where my limits are. I tried my best. One nice thing that in case you're on mobile or on another type of device, is that if you resize it, notice that now, instead of them being laid out, how they were before, now they're stacked perfectly on top of each other. This is in case you're on mobile or on a tablet, or you flip your screen from vertical to horizontal, the layout automatically adjusts. But now what I want to do is work on this part and sort of explain to you a little bit about what it is that these names have in particular that the others don't. From my personal trading, now obviously everybody's trading is different from the other person's, but ever since I started trading these names, and pretty much these names only, and mind you, the names that you find here are a sort of like a more filtered down subset of the names that we would find on these lists. It's just one more step to make it easier to find actionable names. So as an example, I don't think I took I did it more so not with the ones from today, but with the ones from yesterday, the day before that, and so on, which I can show you what the names were. I don't know if you recall last week, exactly during Thursday's class, one of the names that this thing picked up was CCIV. Does anybody remember CCIV and us going over it? CCIV had a tremendous rally like literally right after. I don't know if any of you took this trade. I did, sort of kind of testing out the new wiretapper feature. And let's see, when was class? Last week. So the second, third, fourth. I think we would have had class somewhere around here. The fourth was Friday, so we had class on the third. So we had class on the third. So we had Thursday, we had Friday before the jump. And this is just one example. CCIV is just one example. But I have found that with pretty much all of them, out of the ones that I've tried, so far I've tried, I think maybe 10 or so names. They move. Like if the ones on these top 10 lists are have high probability of moving, which they do, the ones on this list are sort of like I don't know, it's like the top 10 lists combined and on steroids. Effectively, what it boils down to is the following, which I stress. I mean, I really do stress on this CCIV. Let's just look at CCIV for an example. And let's go to the volume tab. Important column, this 20-day volume average. If you were looking for unusual options activity, and you were in my shoes, right? You have to come up with a way. You have to think of a mechanism to detect unusual options activity and bring patterns and bring ideas and things that you've learned from the field, but write them as code so that we don't have to look for them manually. So where would a rise or a drop, pretty much a statistically significant change in 20-day average volume? Currently, I'm only looking for rising 20-day average volume. I am not looking for decreasing. If it's got decreasing 20-day average volume, that means that there's less activity, less people trading the options. Most likely the move already happened. With CCIV, here we go, last time Feb. Here we go, from April 26th, there appears to be a gap of about 1 month from data point to data point. And the price didn't really change that much in that month, from 24 to 20 something. But then after this data point came this cluster of information. And notice that the last data point is June 7th. Today's June 10th. Does it begin to click as to why CCIV was showing up last week, but it's not showing up this week? The move already happened. In particular, I guess what alerted me to CCIV was, if we take the 20-day, this is all math, literally just all math. If we take, let's say whenever we ran that was around here, last week that is. So if we take this 20-day average volume and we subtract it from the previous time that we had an entry for CCIV. In this case, it just so happens that there's only 1 day of difference. But had I done that same exercise using this June 7th sample and then this June 3rd sample, there's definitely more than 1 day of difference. So I also have to take that into account. Going back to my point, I take this June 3rd options volume and I subtract it from the previous one. There is an increase of over 12,000 contracts on average. It made the average go up by 12,000 contracts from literally one business day to the other. I consider that pretty significant. The other metrics that we look at here are the amount of time. I keep going back to time. The way I'm determining the time factor is by using a 50 calendar day, which ends up being roughly 30 trading days, as a drop off. So here's what I mean. On June 7th, whenever the scan was ran on June 7th, it will only look at data points that are no more than 50 calendar days apart. So is February 23rd, 2021 more than 50 calendar days apart from June 7th? I believe the answer is yes. But you know, the code is checking that for us. So in this case, I would not look at the sample. I would look at the samples that fit that 50-day look back.